Hello, good evening, how are you doing? Hope you're all fine. Thank you very much for watching this video, and it's like 8:15 p.m. right now here in Lima, Peru. And today I wanted to focus on the speaking part of the FCE exam, but only on two parts, okay? The first one and the second one. In the next video, I'll talk about the third and the fourth part, all right? So, in case you don't know the structure, the FCE has four parts. The speaking part has four parts as well. In the first one, you have to talk about yourself. They ask you and your partner a question about some personal topics. I'll tell you a few things about that in a moment, okay? Then you're given a picture and you have to describe the pictures that you have. You have two pictures, in fact. Yeah, you have to describe them and you have to answer a question, and then the examiner asks your partner one question related to the same topic, and then he or she does the same with your partner. All right, then it comes the third part, which is the collaborative part, in which you have to talk to your partner and talk about some ideas, all right? Develop some pros and cons, basically, and then answer a question. We'll talk about that in the next video. And finally, you have some open questions related to the topic for you and your partner. Normally, that part of the test takes about 15 minutes, okay? Now that the FCE hasn't been taken since the pandemic started, they will change a few things perhaps to make it online, but the skills they require or they test are going to remain the same. So the idea is that we know the previous format, and as soon as we obtain the new format, well, we will adapt ourselves, but the knowledge is pretty much the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to give you some suggestions. I wrote my suggestions over here. First of all, to talk about the first part, you're going to be talking about yourself, but it's not going to be like, tell me about yourself. You're going to be asked some questions which are, up to a certain point, they are out of the blue, so they have no logic sometimes. No, it's not that they have no logic, but they are, honestly, they are some kind of absurd questions sometimes, yeah? But you have to be confident, first of all. Show confidence. Okay, I know you're going to be nervous, but pull yourself together and show yourself confident, all right? Be natural. This is extremely important. Try not to be a poser, like, yeah, I know a lot of English. No, be natural. The more natural you are, the better, okay? Try not to use expressions of too high level because they won't fit in what you want to say. Perhaps you ask for something very simple and you say, without a shadow of a doubt, I have to say that. No, don't do that, okay? You have to use expressions, but they have to come out in a natural way. And that's why it's extremely important that you practice those expressions so that they come out in a natural way. Okay, that's why they want to see. That's what they want to see. Okay, naturality. Okay, say something interesting. Okay, this is important. If they ask you, I don't know, like, I had something over here. Do you prefer to watch the news on TV or on your cell phone or your mobile phone, because it's British? Don't say something like, no, I don't watch TV, I don't watch the news, I don't like it. Because that's all you're going to say. And they don't care if you do it or not. What they care, they want to hear how you speak, okay? So, if you are asked, do you prefer to watch the news on TV or on the internet? You may say something like, well, I used to watch the news on TV, but nowadays I prefer to watch in my cell phone or in my mobile phone because it's easier. I have access to it at any time. I don't have to wait for a specific schedule, and that's it. Don't say anything else, because if you continue developing your ideas, they will say thank you. That always happens. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. Okay? So those are my recommendations for the first part. So let's remember, let's take everything, let's sum up. It's be natural, be confident, try not to use expressions of too high level, and say something interesting. All right? Then the second part, what do you have to do there? You're going to be given a piece of paper, well, not in this case, I don't know how they're going to do it, perhaps on the computer, yeah, with 2 pictures and 1 question. Okay, my recommendation for this part, you have to practice a lot and measure your time. It's extremely important that you complete the task in the minute. Some people think that if they speak a lot, it's going to be better for them, but the thing is that the examiner normally says, okay, thank you, that's it. But I haven't finished, I had a lot of things to say. No, thank you, now it's your turn. So you have to summarize your ideas, you have to practice, because you won't be with, I mean, your watch or something, or a chronometer watching, okay, a minute, let's start. Okay, you say something now, no, it's not going to be like that. Normally, perhaps now in the computer, yes, but normally you are given about a minute and that's it. So you're given the pictures, and you have to describe and answer a question. So in the description, my recommendation is say not only what you see, but what you think about what they are doing, or they are saying, or how they are feeling also. For example, if you see 2 people, I don't know, in the park, don't say only, well, I see 2 people in the park and they are walking. And in the other picture, I see, no, say something like, well, in the first picture, I can see 2 people in the park. They seem to be really happy. Perhaps they came out of a party, and that's why it's at night, and they're having a nice conversation. Whereas in the other picture, I can see, okay? So develop a little bit your ideas, show your English, show your expressions. It seems to me that I believe, try not to say I think only. That's another suggestion, in fact. Try not to use I think for everything. I think it's correct. I mean, I think it's used, it's not incorrect, but try to change a little bit, like perhaps, I don't know, it seems to me, I believe, I consider, for me, something like that. Don't force expressions that you're not familiar with. If something is not natural for you, better not to say it, okay? Because if you say something like, what was the expression? It's not going to be natural, all right? And always answer the question. If you don't answer the question, no matter how good you were at the first and the second description, if you don't answer the question, you're going to be penalized, okay? So, let's see. Practice, you have to practice a lot. I'm going to send you some pictures, okay, of this part, so you can practice and practice. And I would like you to send me some descriptions, some 1-minute descriptions of that picture in an audio clip. That would be good. And use your interesting connectors, complete the task. So, to summarize the ideas here. First of all, measure your time. You have only 1 minute, so practice and practice and practice until you do it in 1 minute. Complete the task always. Always do the 2 descriptions plus the question. Pay attention to the question. You may ask, before you start the task, you may ask the question, and the question is going to be written in the piece of paper. So don't forget to answer that. Don't start describing things and forget about what you're doing. Everything has an order, and the same way I told you about the writing, you have to follow the order. In the speaking part, it's the same. You have to follow the order. use interesting connectors, but they have to come out in a natural way, and describe what you see and also what you think of the picture, of what you think is happening there. All right. Well, that's it for the moment. I'm not going to tell you anything about the third and the fourth part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some questions for the first part so you can practice, and some pictures so you can do the second task. Okay. If you have time, please send me back your audio clips so I can give you some feedback if possible. All right. Well, have a nice day and see you in the next video. Bye.